Hi guys, what up? This is DJ Talks, and we're gonna be doing something different this time. In our previous episodes that we may or may not upload, that you may or may not see, we Dan and I did a little more League of Legends related stuff. By the way, that's Dan. Wait, which side are you?
Oh god. Okay.
Which side are you
We'll
on?
start
I
it.
don't know.
Um, I don't know. I'm on your
Which
right.
side am you're on my right over
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
All right. So that's Dan over here. I'm Johnny. So
yeah.
yeah, we previously talked a lot about League of Legends, specifically with the industry. We talked about Yahoo esports and content creation and other kind of controversial things that we had our opinions on. But this time, Dan had a really good idea in presenting a different topic where we talked about our favorite video games or game, if it's just one, and then how it's affected our lives personally, and then how we think these games have affected the lives of people just in the world. So, Dan, you want to say anything before we start?
Yeah, sure. I'm Dan. It's nice to be here again. Hope you guys can enjoy a little bit of our randomness.
Yeah, so I think that this will be the first episode that we actually put on YouTube. So if you're watching, thanks for tuning in. It is really cool. This is something that Dan and I have been working on for a couple weeks now. It's kind of our thing that we do on the side for fun. We are looking to up the production at some point, and we're going to probably do this regularly. So
Yeah.
any and all feedback is very much welcome and appreciated. If you think it's total shit and we're boring, let us know. It'll really help us a lot. This is something that we really enjoy doing. Just talking about our thoughts, whatever it is. So we haven't completely decided what the topic of choice will be for the podcast, or maybe a select few genres that will kind of float between. We know that we want to talk about gaming for sure. We might delve into other topics, but today we want to talk specifically about our favorite titles. So, Dan, I want you to start it off. Let's
All
talk about
right.
your favorite video game.
All right. So yeah, we'll be starting it off. You know what? I want to do a little differently. I want to start off with where you started with your gaming, right? I
Me
want to, yeah.
or
Well,
you?
just in general, I guess, in general,
Okay.
of both of us, where we started in kind of what started us off in gaming in general. What was our first console, or what was our first game, or what did we do? So I'm gonna just shift it right back to you. So, what was your very first um, initial game that you had started?
So I actually remember this night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in third grade. I was in third grade when I got my first GameCube,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we got it from Toys R Us or Target or something. But I, I remember my friends would tell me about all these consoles that they were playing, and I got
Mm-hmm.
really jealous of that. So I always put it on my parents to buy me something or to like get me some kind of thing that I could play. And it really bothered me because I wasn't able to relate to my friends who were telling me about all these cool video games they got to play. I think the most exposure that I got was playing demos at stores
Mm-hmm.
or going to a friend's place to play.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a lot of friends as a kid, so that didn't happen very often. And I and I remember that. I mean, looking back, it was very clear that we didn't have access to those video games because finances were really hard at the time. But my parents made the effort to buy a GameCube, and they bought Super Mario Sunshine with it. So that was my very first game, and holy shit, I'm so glad that that was one of my first games because that game was so good, dude. The story was really well made. The game mechanics were really fun. Uh, I remember like the idea of collecting shiny sprites and running around like this. It was kind of like an open world game, but not really. It was a really good starting open world game, I think, for kids. But then the story of the game itself was really easy to fall in love with.
Yeah.
I remember my brother, sister, and no, my sister. Yeah, my sister was born by then, but she was still too young to play. My brother, my mom, and I would take turns playing different stages in Super Mario Sunshine,
Oh, that's cool.
and I remember that my mom would tell me, "Oh yeah, I beat that stage that we were struggling with the night before while you were at school because she didn't have a job at the time. Her job was to take care of my ass."
Mm-hmm.
And then I still remember when we got to the final boss. I was shaking. I was so scared. I was so nervous. I was freaking out. I'm like, holy crap, this is hype. We're actually gonna save Princess Peach now. I was so like, I was freaking out, and it was really, really exciting. Um, that was my very first experience with video games. Yeah, that was pretty dope.
That's a really good one to start off with, though, because Super Mario Sunshine is considered one of the best games, or one of the best Mario games that has ever come out. Right?
Yeah,
You
it's
have
got like
the
really high
you
ratings.
have the Nintendo 64 one, which was the original, like super, or not the original, but like the first one that people really, really fell in love with. The N64, just kind of the open world almost. It seemed like an open world kind of game, right?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
kind of went. I mean, you had the old ones with the Super Nintendo Mario. That was a classic, but it didn't really. And then you had even previous, obviously, before that, which was like the SNES, I think. That it?
yeah.
Like
Actually, I'm
like
really
the
glad you brought
gray
up
black
that.
system. It was like a cartridge that you put it. It was, and then that one was like a. It seemed like you could probably play that now on a calculator. So yeah, I mean, but that
Yeah,
one was like one of the biggest Mario games, at least um, in
yeah.
history, I guess.
I'm really glad. I was gonna say, sorry, I mean to
Mhm.
cut you off.
Yeah, no, go.
I'm really glad you brought up Mario 64 because a lot of people that have tested and reviewed Super Mario Odyssey, which is the
Hmm.
new game coming from Nintendo Switch, they compare that game to the mechanics of Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64. So at least I think that's the name of the game, Super Mario 64. I never played it myself, so
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what it's called. So
yeah, but I'm really glad you brought that up because those three games stand out in the Mario franchise quite a bit as games that actually have more in-depth stories, more creative open world mechanics. It was a lot of fun to play, and I'm really glad that that was my first game. I'm really lucky that that was my first experience with a game.
oh, it's one of the most popular Mario games. So you started off well.
Yeah. What about
Started
you?
off
Where
strong.
did you start?
I started my very first game that I ever had was I think back when I was 4 or 5. I My parents bought me a Sega Genesis. I don't even know.
Holy crap!
I don't know if you know what that is.
Of course I do, dude.
I don't
Come
know.
on, man.
I don't know how old it is.
I'm not that much of a millennial, man. I know what a Sega Genesis is.
I think yeah, the Sega Genesis came out. Let's take a even look at that. It came out in 1989 in North America. I was born in 1992, so I mean by that time I was already like I guess it was cheap at the time. Maybe they found it somewhere. Who knows? I never really asked my parents how that came about and why they bought that specifically, but that was super cool for me. I had 4 games specifically. All right, I remember this. I had Street Fighter 2. Um, I had Sonic.
Oh my! I'm so glad you said you had a Sonic game. I was
Yeah,
there like, yeah,
that was one of the like the Sonic 3, the Hedgehog. I think that was
yeah.
the game. Oh yeah, yeah. And then I had this Mickey Mouse game. It's called like the Illusion Castle Illusion, um, Castle of Illusion, I believe.
Oh, I've actually heard of that game. That's so weird.
I think they just remade it for. Oh no, I don't think I had that game. Never mind. It
Oh,
was
okay.
some no Castle. It was some type of Mickey game though. I don't remember exactly, but I think it might have been the Castle of Illusion game. Um, and then I had this like racing motorcycle, this like weird. All right, so I didn't really like that many of that one too much. I don't remember too much of it, but my favorite out of those was the Sonic game too. So I played that all the time. I think yeah, I could never beat it. I was too young. I sucked at the game. But
Yeah.
every time, this was my very first console, and I loved playing it at all time. And I still go back to it every so often. One of my controllers broke though, but yeah, it was super exciting. My parents said I was really excited. I don't remember too much of when I initially got it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really dope, and I was really happy at the time.
Do you
But
have any
that's
specific memory with any of those games that really stands out to you that you remember that moment or that particular instant in the game?
um, I mean, I just remember dying a lot. Like Street Fighter, think about it. You have to know the combos. You got to know the moves.
Yeah, and it just feels sad when you don't know any of the
I just
combos.
remember
It's just
just
like,
dying a bunch, but I still kept playing it because I was having fun. You see things moving on the screen, you're controlling it. I used to play with my I used to want to play with somebody, but my parents were always too busy. I know at one point, like I played against my dad, and I just kept beating him because I think he was letting me beat me, maybe letting me beat him. But no, yeah. I just remember also being very afraid to play the Mickey game at some point because it was a really dark game, I think, and it had these like scary monsters in it. Well, they weren't even monsters; it was just spiders and things. They just made it sound and seem scary. So every time I played it, I got to a certain point, and I'd have to call my mom over for me to continue playing.
oh gosh,
In order for me to continue playing or something, I just needed to be with her
right.
so I can not be afraid to continue. Um, but yeah, I mean that was. I don't think I have any specific memories of like, wow, that I just beat this level. Um, but I was like 5. That's why 4 or
I mean
something.
that story that you had about you needing your mom to get through the Mickey game reminds me a lot of my final boss fight in Super Mario Sunshine because I remember I was hiding like
Mm-hmm.
partly under a blanket with my hands over it so I could hold the controller, and my mom was sitting right next to me sharing that blanket with me with my brother.
Yeah,
Because I was like, I couldn't be there by myself, and I was just so scared. It was really thrilling. It was the same kind of scary feeling that you get going up a roller coaster.
yeah. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely definitely the feeling that I got. So
yeah.
same feeling. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that was my initial. It sounds like you started with the GameCube, and then ever since then, yeah, I started with the Sega. So, um, but I mean, throughout the history, I had a friend that I met in preschool, I think, that had the Nintendo, like the Super Nintendo, and we used to play. Shit, we used to play Donkey Kong Country 2
Uh-huh.
together. That's
That's
an
not the one where it's a side scroller, right?
It's a side scroller. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a little snake. Like you can ride a snake, you can ride a rhino, and then you could ride a spider. I think. Um, though that game was an awesome classic, Donkey Kong Country 2. I believe that's what it's called. And we used to switch off because you could have played as either Diddy or Dixie. It was just save Donkey Kong or something. So, um, I remember just going to his house just to want to play, just so we could play that game specifically, over and over. But it's all good times. It's good times. I remember that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, that kind of connects into more of I guess the next question that I was going to think about is, what was the first game that really you played for hours upon hours, or what was I guess, one game that really stuck you into gaming, right? What, like a big impact, not even big impact, just the one game that was like, this is when I start gaming forever kind of thing.
Okay. Oh man. So that's kind of hard for me because there's one clear, cut and dry answer, but then there's another game that. So I want to say that the first game I'm thinking of is like a nice solid, like 65-70% of why I play video games now.
Hmm.
And the other one is like a 30-35%, but it's still a pretty significant portion.
Okay.
But so I'll start with no, I'll start with the bigger one, I guess. So for me, the game that I put like a ton of time into, that like made me fall in love with gaming, that I really felt connected to, was Pokemon Pearl version. So at the time, Diamond and Pearl just came out. This was like 2007, 2008 ish.
Mm-hmm.
I was in seventh, eighth grade, so I was like 12 to 13 years old. I had my Nintendo DS Lite at the time. I played with my brother and sister a lot, and I remember I chose Pearl because I let my brother choose Diamond or Pearl, and he chose Diamond. And Diamond, I for some reason, I guess ever since I was a kid, I never liked picking the more popular thing. And my brother was like all for it. He was like, "Oh, this is cool. There's no reason not to get it." So he got Diamond. I was like, "Nah, man, Pearl's where it's at." So I got Pearl. I think to date, I have about 460 something hours in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that because the game logs
Yeah.
the amount of time that you have. And I think between now and when I was in eighth grade, I've only put on like 20 or 30 hours because a lot of it came from the summer for transitioning from eighth grade to my freshman year of high school. I put so much time into it. I would trade with people online all the time. I was battling people all the time. They even had this stupid little dongle that you could plug into your DS. Like, I mean, this is in this is in the DS Lite, but used to be able to plug in this thing right here, and it was a headset that connected to your face. Like it was a one ear thing with a mic,
Holy
and
crap.
yeah, I went in. I bought that, and I was playing people all the time. I was talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
I was collecting different rare event Pokemon that you could only get for attending specific events. I actually met a girl on this game. I'm pretty sure it was like my age at the time. I don't remember her name, but I remember I played with her a lot, and like she would always hide from her parents because she didn't want her parents finding out she was talking to some random guy. And I did the same thing with my parents. Like I would hide in my closet or I'd hide like under my sheets or
Mm-hmm.
like in my room or something because I didn't want them knowing that I was talking to some random girl online. But
How do
we
you
would
know
like
she was a
play.
girl?
I don't. I guess I'll never know. I noticed she had a girl name though, a feminine name. I guess to be politically
Everybody can.
correct.
Everybody can have a feminine name.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But I remember like we would talk and we would like schedule times to battle each other or meet each other online. There was this really popular Wi-Fi IRC chat online called on Cerevi.net.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the place to be if you play Pokemon, and we would always schedule times to like get on there and meet up. We always use the same usernames. Um, but yeah, like I just did so much with that game. I fell in love with the story. I fell in love with all the Pokemon there. There was actually a point in the game, Dan,
Mm-hmm.
where you know how when you catch a Pokemon in a game or whenever you interact with it, it'll make its little like 8-bit or 32-bit sound,
Yeah.
like its little cry.
Yeah.
It came to a point when there was only 493 Pokemon in existence at the time where I could recognize the sounds of a Pokemon and tell you which one it was. That's how like deep I was in the game. It was crazy, but I guess that got me into like the multiplayer interactive aspect of the game of gaming in general. But I fell in love with like storytelling games and like role playing games that were more focused on the individual experience
Yeah.
when I played Wind Waker, The Legend of Zelda Wind
Okay.
Waker. I love the cartoony aspect of the game. It was fucking phenomenal. Princess Zelda was like super cute. The interactions of like picking up the Master Sword and then re-empowering it through music was awesome because I studied piano at the time. I also played the flute. I was in my band.
Mm-hmm.
Music was a really big part of my life at the time, so that's something that resonated with me a lot. But I think that Link, having been like this little kid on an island with a little sister who got kidnapped and then having to fight through that in order to save her. Spoilers. I was like, damn, dude, this game is so good. The soundtrack was really good. That was the first game that I felt like I was a part of. The Pokemon game was like a way for me to interact with other people and for me to have an identity outside of who I was in real life.
Right.
Because in Pokemon, I had all these really rare Pokemon that I was collecting from other people and trading for online. And I was also pretty good at battling. So I'm like, this is a different me that no one in school in my family ever saw. But then in Wind Waker, it was more like I felt like I was Link. You know, I felt like I was in that world. I felt like I could have been somebody else. And it only happened when I sat down and I turned on the TV.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think that those two games in conjunction were that I played around that time were a huge reason as to why I play video games now. Like even now, like I love Pokemon Sun and Moon. I played a card game and a video game. I love Breath of the Wilds, and
Isn't
there are
there?
a ton of other games that I play.
Yeah, there's like
So,
Ultra Sun now too, right? An Ultra Moon.
yeah, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are scheduled to come out in November of this year, and I haven't pre-ordered my copies yet, but I would definitely do so. I'm
Okay.
so excited for those games, but I can keep going on about them forever. But yeah, those are two games that like really stood out to me and are reasons why I still play video games today.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's think a little bit. I was trying to think as at the same time as listening. Um, I guess I can also say that one of the biggest games that I played was Pokemon Red. Okay, that was my first game that um, kind of cemented me through the handheld video games, right? And in general, just gaming in general. Now, mine doesn't go as deep as yours. Um, you went hard into that, but I definitely
That
put
was
in.
so hard, dude.
Yeah, I definitely put in massive number of hours into that. I remember I used to bring it to school to play it as well. My parents used to have to take my Game Boy away, like my
Same.
Game Boy Color. Like I had a Game Boy Color. Oh, I had the initial Game Boy actually. No, not the big one though. That was the big. That was the initial one. I had the black and white version Game Boy. It was like this silver black and white. It was like the Game Boy Color, but it was black and white only. So I had that initially, and I played Red, Pokemon Red. They used to take my Game Boy away all the time because I used to stay up at night and under my covers, kind of like play my Pokemon Red. So I used to at some point hide my every time they came in to check on me, basically to make sure that I wasn't playing. I hid it under the bed or under
Same
the
shit.
yeah. I think I got caught so many times because my dad, in the end, obviously I was a stupid little kid. I just hid my Game Boy under my pillow, and he used to like come in, search underneath everything, and then I used to get in so much trouble for that. But
Wait, but the original Game Boy Color didn't have a backlight. How did you play under your covers?
I have absolutely no clue. I think I took no. I had a flashlight, but then I also turned on the lights so I could play the game. And then obviously my parents see the light.
Mhm.
I was just very stupid. And at one point, my friend had blue, I believe. One of my friends in school had the Game Boy as well. Because I got my Game Boy taken, he wanted me to. He at some point he wanted me to level up his guys as well and catch Pokemon for him. So I took
Oh my
his
god.
Game Boy, because he like lent it to me so I can train his Pokemon or fight for him. I don't know. I just wanted to play the game. I remember this clearly, and I got in so much trouble for this because my dad took away my Game Boy, and I still had another one. He was just freaking out about why I had this, and I was like, it was my friend's, and then he like, don't break it. It's my friend's Game Boy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I used to randomly find the Game Boy everywhere. He used to try to hide it, and I used to search his room for it, and I played it whenever they're out. But that was one initial, yeah. Pokemon Red, I played,
But
and
it
I.
almost sounds like because you put like so much effort into
Mhm.
trying to find these games, you would. It's like you went out of your way to be able to play these games, right? So then it was like you were making the active effort to seek gaming
Yeah.
before you knew that you were in love with it.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I just enjoyed gaming in general. In general, I just like to play video games, just kind of random out of the blue. So, and then my second game was that I used to play, and it kind of hit was RuneScape.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. I played so much
Mhm.
RuneScape too.
RuneScape was those were the two biggest games I think I ever played. I didn't get into too many others because I don't think either my computer could handle it or my parents wouldn't let me. But after school every day, I think this was in fourth grade. My library literally was right next to my school,
Oh my
so
god, I did the same shit.
I used to go with friends, ran like after school, go to because my parents used to work until a certain point of time, so I used to go to the library to hang out with my friends and to play RuneScape. Right, this was every day pretty much. I even remember we used to have to at one point sign in, so we had to we memorized our library cards so we could type it in as fast as possible because we only get an hour of time.
Right.
We only got an hour of time or like half an hour or whatever it is. We quickly signed in and we had to like get a receipt of what our time will be and when our next time will be, and then we ran to the next, and then we kept doing that over and over, back and forth, and we just played RuneScape over and over, leveling up our characters. And I played the RuneScape Classic too, um, the one where it was like it wasn't the 3D one.
Oh,
It
I
was
never
like the
played RuneScape
previous
Classic.
before. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, that was we. I'm just like chopping wood, and I went back to the game. I was like, what the hell was I thinking, man? This is
And then
so
like you log in
boring.
years later, you're like, what was I doing?
Like this is like I just click on a button and then it happens, and then it just like chops wood or something. Let me make a fire and.
Yeah.
But no, I used to share accounts with one of my best friends. Um, so we used to at one point there was like pures, remember,
Hmm.
where you raise a specific stat and nothing else, so you stayed very very low leveled,
Right.
where you can like PK player heal in the wilderness. So you either raise like range or magic or just purely attack or something, and you go out, you hit like 20 damage at a level 30 character or something, and you used to own noobs like it was the funniest thing. But my friend and I used to train that one or a couple of characters, and it was just fun. That's best,
Hmm.
best, and I just kept playing that over and over. So I played that for years, from like fourth grade to like I think it was until I was in eighth grade or something. 5 years,
Hmm.
and that was every day after school. I remember I got in trouble a lot with my parents for that too. So, but yeah, those are the games that I initially kind of kicked off.
Hmm.
That's an RPG and another kind of RPG. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually want to talk a little bit about my friend Kyle. He, so I met him in a summer camp, and I had a Game Boy Advance or Game Boy Advance SP at the time, the one with the backlight. It was the first one with the backlight.
Hmm.
But um, when he found out that I'd never played the original Pokemon games before, he convinced his mom to drive him to his local GameStop so he could pick up a copy of Pokemon Blue for me,
Hmm.
where they still sold like old Game Boy games, and he gave it to me as a gift, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" Like, what the hell? He was like a really big reason why I started playing games in the first place, especially Pokemon games, because that was like the first experience I had with one or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was among my first experiences, but yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to Kyle because like I don't think I would be in love with Pokemon if it wasn't for him giving me that original
Hmm.
version. Yeah,
Hey, what's up, Kyle? How you doing? Shout outs to you, apparently.
yeah, man.
uh, all right. But yeah, that's I guess those are the histories of our gaming a little bit, just kind of a little bit, and what kind of kicked us off into gaming nowadays. I guess what would you consider your favorite game then? Of
Of all time,
oh shit, that's really hard.
that's so hard, dude.
Oh man, I guess let's go with ooh
How do you
favorite
want to break
game
this
of
down?
all time. Man, that is
Yeah,
tough.
that's hard. That's hard. Um,
I guess
what
that
about
that's
like
that was pretty good then. I mean, we had talked about our games that we played a crap ton.
what about like our top five games, so that we don't have to like eliminate any that we really like?
Man, I don't even.
Do you
All
want to
right.
dedicate, or do you want to just dedicate it to just one title,
Dude, I don't
or
want
maybe
to.
three
I don't
titles?
be like. I don't want to be like. I like this shitty ass game. It's like, oh shit, what?
I mean, everyone
Yeah,
has like
all right. Top five. Top five. Let's go.
top five.
Top five favorite games. Oh shoot. That's top three. Top three. Top three.
Top three. All right,
Top
top
three.
three.
Shit. All right, we're gonna have to think about this a little bit, but let's. You know what? I'm just gonna kick it off. I would say, with the amount of time and effort and everything that I put into this game and the entire scene itself, League has to be one of the top three for me. Like, no matter what, that is the number of games that I've put into this. Like, I think it was like 4K games right now. That's wins, losses, that's. And then the number of hours that I put into the actual scene itself,
Right.
which is the League of Legends scene. Then, not only upon that, the amount of research and that I do behind it to kind of just not even research. I just kind of am interested in the pros, the scene, the players, the whatnot. All of this. That's I think one of the top games. It has to be with the amount of time and that I've put in at least. I'd consider that one of the top three.
Okay.
That's just one of my top three because it's a huge part of my life in general. I guess one part of my life. So
Okay.
that's one of them. I
I
wouldn't say it's
think
number one or anything.
yeah, I would have to say the same thing, but I don't know if I'd say top three or top five. It's just like somewhere up there, honestly. But I mean, for all the reasons that you listed, I put like so much time into the game. I wouldn't have put this much time into the game if I didn't love it, right?
Hmm.
To some degree, I find myself like on the League of Legends subreddit all the time.
Yep.
Every night, I fall asleep watching like some kind of League video or 10.
I
You know,
listen
I
to it while I'm driving. I
while
listen
listening
to
to
it
podcasts.
like
Exactly.
random podcasts. I listen to this. I listen to that. I watch highlight videos. You dream about League and you play League and you want to live League and League this, League that. And maybe it's because of the world nowadays because internet is so big that League is able to be so easily accessible
Hmm.
because
And I mean, I would always argue that the relationship that you and I have now,
Mhm.
that League was a pretty big part of that. Like when you and I met, we had like some things in common, but League was one thing that we had a lot in common, and we were just like, let's just play, and we actually played a lot. So I think that League was a really big reason why you and I are really good friends. So I definitely owe League that much, if anything, right?
True.
Um, yeah, but I don't know if I'd like say it's top three or top five because I think there are other games with more compelling stories and with gameplay that I enjoyed more, but it's really hard to say.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'll put it in my top five. Thinking about my favorite games, I'll definitely put it in my top five. Um, I think I can list my top five now. I know we said three, but I think I can list the top
Jeez.
five now.
I'm terrible because I like to try different games. And the
Uh huh.
reason why I like gaming in general is because I get to play with friends. Right? So those top games that I play, I'm going to be like playing with friends or playing with or doing something with a friend. It's like a multiplayer game kind of thing. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
I think so. I'm gonna list five because I would say League is number five in the top five, and then I already listed one at the top, which was Wind Waker. Um, that's definitely my favorite game of all time. But so I'll list three new ones that would float second, third, and fourth. But um, yeah. So I think the in fourth place it would probably be I guess it's kind of bold to say this, but I'd probably go as far as saying Pokemon Moon.
Whew,
Yeah.
dang.
Even though I put so much time into Pearl and I like fell in love with the game, I actually really think Pokemon Moon was like extremely well done. It took a lot of the problems that people hated in old Pokemon games and fixed them. For example, catching Pokemon, you got experience for those.
Mhm.
I know you got that was something that they did in old X and Y
Oh yeah.
and Alpha Sapphire,
Hmm.
but that was a really big thing that they fixed that they kept. They also introduced the very first Pokemon game where, spoiler alert, there is no champion. You become the champion, and there are no gym battles. I thought that the system of growth as a trainer and then the exploration of the different islands was phenomenal. This is also a game that I found myself reading the text in the cutscenes as opposed to skipping all of them. Like this is, I actually really like the story. I could identify characteristics and
Oh yeah.
personality like traits of the characters. This is something I really enjoyed, and I easily put like 200 hours into the game,
Hmm.
even though the game has just been out for not for just a couple months now. I thought the game was incredible, and it's a really big reason why I'm like playing Pokemon TCG now, and I'm looking forward to the Ultra Sun and Moon. I guess the third place game would be The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. So this game was the Genesis game of the Zelda world. They explain how the world came to be, how Hyrule came to be what it is in other popular titles like Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, etc.
Hmm.
And I think that was the first Zelda game that I played where I actually felt connected to the character Zelda.
Okay.
Because in the other games like Wind Waker, I didn't feel that connection as much. Twilight Princess, I'm really sad to admit it, but I actually didn't finish it.
Oh, me neither.
Completely wrong. Yeah, I don't know. The Water Temple just fucked me hard, and I'm like, all right, I gotta.
You know what?
This too much.
I actually never finished a Zelda game.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah, I have actually I've never been a huge fan of Zelda games in general, and it was something about this. For some reason, I felt it was very boring. Probably because it was a single player, and I don't enjoy playing single players, like I said, as much. But in the game,
But the soundtrack is so good, and you're fighting with a sword, and you have all these other cool. How is it?
I know people will hate on this, and I will say it. I have never fully enjoyed any type of Zelda game. Like I bought them, I played them, I thought they were very well done, but I never enjoyed to the point where I could finish it.
I mean, that's fair enough, man. I could say the same thing about Fire Emblem.
Oh my god! All right, well that's where we're getting into the
So,
territory.
a lot of people love Fire Emblem and stuff. I think the characters are really well drawn and they're all pretty and stuff. But I thought the games were pretty boring. I only recently started playing Awakening, and I think it's great. But even then, I'm not like super on it.
All right.
So like there's that. So I can understand how you feel about like a large title like that.
Sounds good. Okay.
But yeah, I thought Skyward Sword was like just amazing. I think, and it's like probably one of the only games. I can't think of many games, if any, other than Skyward Sword, where I cried during a cutscene. There's a really heartfelt cutscene that I was sitting there and I'm like, wow, I'm feeling pretty hard. But yeah, I mean, just based on the way I described it earlier, the second place, this is my second favorite game of all time, would probably be Super Mario Sunshine.
Okay.
There's never been a game that gave me an experience like that, and I'm probably biased because that was my very first game.
That's fine.
For every reason I listed before, it definitely made it on the list. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. All right.
yeah.
I can't rank some of these, okay?
But I gave you time to think about it, so now it's all you, baby. I want to hear your favorites.
Oh man, I still don't even know, man. But I will give you some of my top games, and one of them just so happened to be the one you so said that you don't like and you haven't finished. Fire Emblem is one of my favorite games.
Wait, are you talking about Fire Emblem Awakening as your favorite game?
No. Fire Emblem. There was shit. It was the fight. It's called
Mystery of the Emblem.
It's called Fire Emblem. Like that's it. there's no like actual name to it. I think, other than it's called Fire Emblem.
I
At
need to
least
look
that's
that
what I
up.
used to play. Rekka no Ken is the Japanese version of it, but it's just
Oh,
called Fire Emblem.
yeah. Okay, so this was the Blazing Blade. This is a Marth game, right?
Is this it? It had the characters Sane, Lin,
Yeah,
um,
Hector was in this game.
Hector.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
This is by far one of my favorite games I have, no matter what. And the reason why I could actually go back to, well, is because of like the Visual Boy Advance on the computer.
Uh huh.
I used to play this. I've beaten the game at least, I think, 5 times. At least 5, maybe 10 times. Because every single either year or every 2 years, I would just go back to it and finish the game again. And
Oh,
I
okay.
just played it again, and I know which characters I like. It was I haven't actually gone back to it in so long because there's so many games nowadays that we're playing because all of the
Yeah.
new Fire Emblems are popping up. But this is one of the ones that I played consistently, uh, pretty much every year, and I don't go back to games much. Right,
Yeah.
especially like single player games or this kind of game, I don't go back to games much. This is one of the games that I actually go back to. I don't know if it's out of convenience or love, or I love the game itself because I like the turn based and I like the storyline. I don't even know why I like the storyline because I don't even clearly remember it too well. But I know you could play in 3 different roles, right? It was Lin, it was Hector, and it was, fuck if I remember his last name. First, I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite games. Don't worry. It's, it's oh man. Uh,
Elliewood?
Elliewood, yes. Oh my god, I just kept thinking Roy because Roy's one of the big melee characters. So
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Elliewood, Lynn, and Hector, and you can play in each role pretty much, and you can follow each character's like their story and how they came. So it was super cool. Fire Emblem's one of my favorite series too. I missed a couple of them, and I know I did. But I've played Awakening, which was good. I borrowed that from Gary, so shout out to Gary. I borrowed it from him, um, and then yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
All right, Dan. If you commit to finishing a Zelda game, I'll play Fire Emblem, the
That's
original one
so much
that you
so
love.
different though. Fire Emblem's a short ass game, whereas Zelda's a fucking hard ass like.
All right,
Oh,
I'll finish the Game Boy one that you love and Awakening.
I mean, I still have my GameCube too, and I have the game
Then just play it.
Master Sword and the Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time is really fucking good too.
I had
If you
that.
play through that, that'll be pretty good. That's like
I remember I
the
got really
original.
far too. I just
Yeah.
never beat Ganon or Ganondorf. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his name, right? That's the evil guy.
Do you know the difference between the two, Ganon and Ganondorf?
I have no clue. I'm telling
So,
you.
so Ganon is the name of the evil beast that you imagine that is a dog-like creature.
Oh, okay.
Ganondorf
Is the actual
is when Ganon takes a
guy?
human form.
Oh, ho, ho. Well, that's
Human form, yeah. Yeah, so you see Ganondorf in major titles like Smash and whatever.
yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
depicted as that guy, but then there are other like really cool
Like
Zelda
Ganondorf's
characters or whatever.
super in Smash.
Oh yeah. His
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 Smash
final Smash move,
is
he
him,
becomes Ganon.
and then he charges like whoosh.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
and so
yeah,
that's like his unleashed form that he's not like
yeah, yeah,
chained or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. All right, all right, all right.
yeah. But to be fair, I played the shit out of Fire Emblem Heroes, So I know like all the major
Fire
Fire
Emblem
Emblem characters.
Heroes.
That's the first one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I
I,
play it a lot.
okay, okay,
Like
okay. That's why you know. Okay, that's why you know. Yeah,
yeah, I put money into a special event where you could like roll for a
yeah.
for some of the wedding dress girls, and I just kept trying to pull Lynn, and I pulled the wedding dress Lynn, so it's pretty good. But yeah. Let's go back to your list though. So Fire Emblem is somewhere up there in the top three.
And all right.
Are you throwing League in the top three as well for you?
Oh yeah. I still love League no matter what, and I always play it. And I find, I wish I think it's just because it's my first MOBA game. Oh no, Dota was my first MOBA game. I don't know. I don't know why. I just love the game,
Yeah, me too.
so I can't not go back to it, no matter what I do. Um, and I don't know if it's because of just the times right now. Like I said, if it's just because of the times we're in or what it is, but it's so easily accessible, and it's just one of the ones that I like. So I don't know. But yeah, Fire Emblem. Jeez.
You got room for one more in your top three.
That's what I hate. I don't want to like throw away certain games. I just know I played a crap ton of a lot of games, but I know they're not very good games. Like Maple Story.
I mean, you could play games that put a lot of time into it just because you enjoy them, knowing that they're not that good.
Yep. Um. Shit. Super Mario Nintendo. Super
Yeah,
Mario. The Nintendo Super Mario Super Nintendo version. I think I.
that's the side scroller where like you would change worlds
Yep.
after completing all the stages, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it
What are you gonna say?
because I think that was the very first Mario that I played that I actually fully enjoyed. Um, and I really liked the gameplay itself.
Hmm.
Finding the new secret levels, finding this and that, and then I just remember the cape itself that I could fly in,
Oh yeah.
and I loved playing that. And maybe that's I'm gonna have to think more carefully about this eventually, but that's the first thing that pops up in my mind is the Super Mario World. Um,
This is the one where you can get the super leaf and you can fly around as a raccoon, right?
no, it's called
Oh.
Super Mario World.
Oh. Okay.
The
Okay.
one with the Yoshi and him in a cape on the title.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Because I
The
I
one
was
that you have is
imagining.
Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah, but that's a remake of an old one.
Yeah, which is Super
But
Mario Bros. 3, I think.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I thought that the Super Mario Bros. 3 that I was thinking of was a remake of the Mario game you're thinking of because you said you're talking about flying capes and stuff. But
yeah. Oh yeah, that was a flying raccoon. Yeah, that one was.
yeah,
But
I'm
then
way off.
Super Mario World was the one where your cape you could like float through an entire map, an entire game because you could do this like bouncing move, right? It's like bouncing with the cape, and his cape was like floating him all the way through. I remember I used to do that because I didn't want to play a certain level because it was too hard, so I just floated through the entire
Oh,
game.
so this is actually a game that I wanted to play as a kid, but they actually remade this a couple of times. I'm
Hmm.
hoping they bring it to. I know they brought it to the Wii and the Wii U,
Dude, just
but
Nintendo emulator.
I could do an emulator, or if they put it on the Switch, then I could just get it on the Switch.
Yeah, pop it onto the emulator. I think that's. I initially played this when with my friend who had the Super Nintendo. That's the guy who also had the Donkey Kong Country. Um, Nathan, if you don't know him.
Yo, did you know that Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2, the remake of it for the Game Boy, is the fifth best-selling Game Boy Advance game in the world?
Fifth best. Whew.
Yeah, at
Check that out, man.
5.7 million copies.
Check that shit out.
It's pretty dope.
Oh man, yeah. But I remember playing that on his Nintendo initially. I never had a Super Nintendo because after the Sega Genesis, my first game console was GameCube.
Hmm.
So I missed like the PS, PlayStation, the Super Nintendo, the N64, and everything like that. So I missed a lot of good ones. But yeah, I'm gonna say that's one of my top three for now. For now,
It's
because
pretty good.
I don't remember any of the other ones in my
I mean, that's some
brain.
good picks.
None of the other ones are in my head. But League, multiplayer, Fire Emblem, and Super Mario. But yeah, those were, I guess, some of my favorite that I played.
Hmm.
All right, and then lastly, how do you think gaming has impacted your life, my life, everybody's life in general? How do you think gaming, yeah, has impacted people's lives in general? I think our answers should be pretty similar to a degree, the big base level ones, but tossing it out there. Let's go. I guess I can start if you want here.
Yeah, go
Um,
for it, man.
So gaming for me, I guess it like I said, I don't enjoy playing single player games as much. Like I still play it, I still buy them, I still have fun with them, but it's just not as impactful as something like a co-op or a multiplayer game, or an MMO or something. And I think it's more so to connect with friends outside of actually being there physically with them. Right. That's one thing that I really think has, like, I have created certain long-term friendships with that. Like I still play with random people and create certain friendships through like League. I still play with people I have never met. I'm telling you, I still play through it, and then randomly people who have played it, and I reconnect with certain people as well. And like I reconnected with a couple of friends recently, somewhat recently, I guess. I met them probably like freshman year in college, and then I didn't talk to them for a long time because of AAA, probably. And and then yeah, they still play League. I had them added on. I played with them randomly, and we still we like talk a lot now still. So I think it keeps connected with friends who play games in the community, and that's one of the biggest ways I think it impacted my life, is just kind of build friendships, create friendships, maintain friendships, and then kind of like reconnect with certain friends. So all of those things, that's one big way that impacted. And I think that's with a lot of people, where you hear stories online where it's like, yo, I met this friend, random person on League of Legends, or I met this random person on this MMO RPG. We just started playing together. We apparently had this similar times that we did play. And then, like, we finally, like, I just read this too on the League subreddit, I think. It was like this AD carry main and this support main, and they randomly met.
In real life,
Yeah. And they be like, this is one of their best friends now. Like, this is the type of thing that gaming allows, which is super cool, because you have these huge, massively, online games that you can just play and meet cool people. Obviously, you meet a lot of toxic people as well, but whatever. Got to sift through all the toxic people to meet the good people. So,
hmm
That's one of the biggest impact I think that it not only has on mine but also on a lot of different people's lives is just this creation of friendship and this being able to play with somebody even if you can't be with them physically. So
Do you think that the people that you feel you built relationships with through gaming would be your friends, or would have these relationships with you without gaming? Would they be the same or similar?
no, because I'm a gamer at heart. So if they weren't gamers, I wouldn't be able to as easily connect with them as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are certain friends, like I said, that I still play with, and there's certain friends that I wouldn't have connected with again if I didn't play. Um, I guess I would have made different types of friends as well if I wasn't a gamer or if I didn't play these games. But I mean, yeah, one of my oldest, longest friends, we initially started off playing games, which is Nathan, right? Nathan from the Lambdas, right? Um, I've known him since I was 4, and I guess we initially started playing games, Donkey Kong Country and all of that stuff, and then we played RuneScape together, and then we played this and that together, and all of a sudden, he played a shit ton of World of Warcraft, which I was really sad I couldn't play because I guess I was playing RuneScape at that time, but not just because of that, but because I couldn't spend the money on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, these are the friends that I created, and I guess it initially started with gaming, and then we can continue it from there. But yeah, there's always a baseline game. Like one of our friends, Way Winfield.
Just giving all the shout outs today.
All the shout outs. I still play a shit ton with him now. Um, but no, I remember initially it was like randomly 5th grade. He played like I randomly our parents know each other for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I went to his place in California. I stayed there for about a week, I think, because my dad was on some business trip and he wanted me to have fun with some like random kid. And he played MapleStory, and that's how I initially started playing MapleStory as well. I didn't play with him because he didn't really remember me as well. Look you. But then, yeah, we still play now. So, oddly, some odd situation, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's friends.
Kind of serendipitous.
Friendships, man.
Deal with the field.
Power of friendship.
Come on, man. You gotta bring that shit out on here.
All you.
I always tell the story when people ask why I want to pursue a career in gaming or what gaming means to me. But growing up, my brother struggled a lot in school.
Mm-hmm.
His English took a little longer to develop because he would stutter and his grammar was kind of boosted. He was also really shy and didn't make friends as easily. So it didn't, and it also didn't help that I would like mess with him as his older brother. So he was just really shy and he was a very different person growing up. But I remember when we started playing video games together, that was something that we were able to connect on.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I was always better at video games than him, but that's literally just because I had a, advantage being 2 years older than him. It was just like I was older and I understood the world a little bit better.
Mm.
But
And now he wrecks you in League.
yeah, no, we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, I remember there was one winter break when I told him that he should play League because in high school I was very distant and very rebellious at home. I was just like a very angsty, naive teenager. So I wasn't at home as much. So I wasn't spending as much time with my brother. But I tried to connect with him. I eventually got him to join like some clubs I was in. But then when I was in college, I was like, hey, you should play League with me because I really wanted to play with him. Um, uh, and now he's a totally different person. Like he does really, really well in school, way better than me, than I ever did. He's like when he's in comms, he's like yelling and screaming and saying these things, and he's really excited and he's really thrilled. He really enjoys himself, and he has a totally different identity that he that he gets to embrace when he's at his computer
Mm.
than outside. And I don't think that that would have been possible without gaming at all. I can say the same thing for myself, but thankfully I've had the opportunity to develop other identities and other parts of myself through not gaming and then doing my own kind of gaming where I'm not, playing with my friends and stuff. But I mean, it means a lot to me that my brother was able to make that kind of transformation because I still remember like when he was still really young and really shy and just wasn't doing well. My parents would always bug me to like help him and stuff, but now he doesn't need me. He's like way better at me than any game that he played. Like he'll smash me in any video game that he likes and will play. And he doesn't play competitively. He just plays like super casually. And then he could be playing for fun and I could be tryharding and he'll still beat me.
Yeah,
now
he smashes you all the time.
Yeah, he's
in
really
League.
Yeah. So I mean, like even now, I don't get to play with him as much as I'd like to, but it doesn't bother me that much because I know that he's got his friends to play with. He plays with some of my friends too, and he really enjoys himself, and he gets to live and embrace that identity there. So being able to offer that opportunity to other people is why I want to pursue a career in gaming. But I know that my brother is not the only person who can tell that who have a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Bjergsen from TSM has a very similar story, except Bjergsen was bullied. My brother wasn't bullied like that much, and he had it easier. But Bjergsen was like, really picked on as a kid, and now he's able to embrace his identity and career in gaming.
He's like,
And
"What's up, bitches?
like
I'm
that.
all out here. Now you're cheering for me. That's right."
Exactly. So I know that my brother and Bjergsen aren't like unique in that sense that there are a lot of people that are like that, and I think that gaming in general has that impact on people where they can be someone else and they can take on that identity. That's part of why I enjoy these other games so much, because I can take on that identity and that characteristic of becoming Link and embracing those characteristics that I resonate with. So yeah, I guess that's just my spiel on what gaming means to me and what I think it means to society. But sadly, people don't in society some people may not really acknowledge gaming for its merits yet, because esports is still growing and a lot of people see it as some people see it as a legitimate thing, other people may not and see it and they might see it as a joke. So we'll see where esports goes in a few years, but for gaming in general, I think that'll continue growing. It's in a good place.
Yep. Will always be a big industry, so.
Yeah.
But I guess that kind of concludes where we're going with this. Anything you want to add on that you want to say?
Nah, I talked a lot. Is there anything that you want to share?
No, I'm good. It looks like this is technically episode 3 of our DJ Talks.
Technically.
You guys won't see it all, but
episode 1 and 2 is like our private rehearsals.
Sounds good. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget to let us know what you think of this. Once again, this is like one of our topics, random topic that we come up with. Whichever topics you guys like, one of these will stick. And we're kind of just doing what we enjoy and kind of talking. I don't know. We're going to upload 2 videos, right? One was the last week, which was our Yahoo Esports one. It was a little bit more, broken down, guidelined, everything. This one was more free flow. We didn't really have notes on it or anything. It obviously was talking about us and our interests, but let us know which one you like, kind of more outlined, more not, more casual. And then follow us on Twitter. Johnny's more active than I am, but
Even then I'm not that active. But
follow us on gaming in general. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll put up our social media stuff. But again, just to reiterate something that we kind of talked about before, we really enjoy this kind of conversation, this format of where Dan and I get to share our thoughts on things, and then we have an opportunity to interact with our viewers where maybe they'll comment or maybe they'll reach out to us and participate in the conversation. So that'll be something that we look forward to. but we are learning, and this is something that we are going to continue doing for a while. So any and all feedback would be, like Dan said, would be very greatly appreciated, so we can offer more to our viewers. But yeah, if there's anything else that you want to share with us, then by all means do so. But Dan already hit the bases. So thanks for watching, and tune in hopefully next week.
See ya.
See ya.